We're going to look at the cultural note. It's activity 14 on page 118. And this cultural note in chapter 6 of our chapter about infants is called Choices About Breastfeeding, Maternity Leave, and Adoption. At the beginning, we have 4 useful words that come up in the reading. I'm going to read these to you. The first one is nutritious. Nutritious. Nutritious is an adjective. And nutritious means providing food for good health. So if you have nutritious lunches for the children, that means these lunches will provide good food for helping them grow and develop. The next word is race. Race, used as a noun. And this means a group of people who share an ethnic background. Sometimes when you fill out an application, do you have to put a check mark to show if you're Caucasian or Asian or Afro-American or something like that? Yes. So these are, we use the word race to describe people of different ethnic backgrounds. The next word is gay. Gay is an adjective, and it means, it has a lot of meanings, but in this passage, it means homosexual. Homo means same. So homosexual or gay means people who have an attraction to people of the same sex, gay. The next word is nursing. Nursing is a noun. It means breastfeeding. Breastfeeding. So if you have a baby, if you're a woman and you have a baby and you let the baby drink the milk from your breast, then you call that breastfeeding or nursing. Both of those words can be used to describe that. So in our text, we have 3 different little topics. And the first one shows a picture of, what do you say this is? How would you describe this picture? Who do you see? Nursing, right. Okay. So you see a picture of a mother breastfeeding or nursing an infant. All right? So this one is called the choice to breastfeed. Babies were always breastfed. Fed, notice the past tense of feed is fed. So breastfeed and breastfed, past tense. And this is also the past participle, so it's passive voice. Babies were always breastfed by their mothers until about 100 years ago. Then came infant formula. Infant formula. And mothers had a new choice, and many of them started using the infant formula. Now the formula is not real breast milk from the mother, but it is something like it that you mix. It's a powder that you mix with water, right? I'm sure you're familiar with that. So later, after using this formula for a while, then mothers learned about the many important benefits of breastfeeding. Breast milk is the most nutritious food for babies, and it protects babies from illness. Nursing also allows a mother and child to bond. Do you remember the word bond? Yeah, to become very close. Still, some mothers cannot or do not want to breastfeed and use infant formula instead. Now, if you use infant formula, then you have to mix it and do what? Put it in some water, mix it together, and then what? Shake it up, and then what? You need to heat it. You need to warm it up. You need to warm it up, but make sure it's not too hot. So what's a good way to find out it's not too hot? Yeah, put some drops on your wrist. Yes, and make sure it's just warm enough. So it should be, the temperature is if it came out of your own body. That temperature is a good temperature. And when you feed a baby in formula, it's not from a breast. What is it from? It's from a bottle. Okay? So although it's convenient, it doesn't provide the kind of close bonding that body interaction can provide, right? So one thing is that the bonding that occurs with breastfeeding is often better than with bottle feeding. But a father cannot breastfeed, right? A father can use a bottle, so then the baby can maybe bond with the father. So it also has some benefits to use formula. The breastfeed food from the mother contains some things that will help prevent the baby from getting sick. So if possible, it's recommended that the mother breastfeed the baby for how long? 6 months, 8 months, maybe a year. They usually say at least 6 months is a good amount of time to allow the baby to benefit from some immune system that you already established and you give to the baby if you're the mother breastfeeding the child. So if it's possible, that's a good thing to do. When the infant formula came out maybe 100 years ago, all the mothers, oh wow, so easy now, just stir it up and mix it up and put it in a bottle. And they didn't understand at that time because the science learned about it later, about the difference. And in some countries, they said, we can't afford the formula because it's expensive. So we add more water. If you add too much water, then the nutrients in the formula are thin and the babies don't get enough nutrition. So that's another thing that was learned later after people got the formula and mixed it together. So those are kind of two different ways of feeding young infants. And so some people choose to breastfeed. When the children go to the child care center and they're infants, some mothers want to still breastfeed the baby even though they have to go to work. So what do? They use a pump, right? Yeah, they use a pump and they pull out